Hi guys, I'm Angel Maybach, and if you're here, obviously you're curious to know more about NASM CPT certification, um, National Academy Sports Medicine, and I'm here to share to you my experience. I just recently passed the exam in November. It took time for me to take a video because I got so busy. But anyway, I just want to share to you some common ideas, knowledge, and tips. I know lots out there are posting already about their experience, and this is of course one of them. Anyway, I took an exam November, and it was really nerve-wracking. I was really so worried and was just thinking that I'll just either maybe postpone and pay to postpone the exam. And I called, and yeah, you can postpone, but you pay 190. And of course, if you failed, and you still not need to pay 190. So in my mind, okay, fail or not, I'll just pay 190. Anyway, so I just took a risk and took an exam. I was not confident at all. But if you study in by chapter and you take a practice test, and if you pass, as they say, that's already a sign that you're doing good. But of course, I don't want to be so confident in eventually, oh, I'm so confident I'm going to pass, and then eventually you don't. So I have this personality, I don't want to expect, and then at least if I pass, oh, that's good. If I fail, then it's not hurting, you know. But anyway, I have a list here, common questions in mind of every personal trainer aspiring, what is gonna happen and what we should expect. Okay, so of course, number one question is the practice exam the same as the actual exam? That's the same question I had before, which is not really. That's kind of like almost the same, the idea, but it's not really the exact question. They might revise it a bit, they might change a specific muscle, you know. Instead they ask a certain glutes, they will ask the quads, something like that. But of course they will not give you something that you haven't studied in every chapter, I swear. You know, when I was answering the question, I was like, oh, I read this. You know, but in my experience, some who hadn't taken an exam, took exam, which I read, and they said some of the questions they answered in practice test, it's almost the same, or some had the same questions in actual exam. But keep in mind, every examination change, so it's not really the same. So my examination won't be the same as yours, and that's what makes it challenging. It's really nerve-wracking. You don't know what you're gonna get, and plus they said there's gonna be 20 questions that is just a practice test for a certain research. But I don't know if I got something there that made me confused or made me something that, oh, maybe this is the question because I didn't study or haven't read it. Actually, it's the same as what you study in the book, as long as you read it chapter to chapter and you study, do a practice test every chapter. Anyway, in my case, maybe out of 10, maybe I get one, the same question, something like that. The rest, I'm more on situational. They give you like a problem solving. They give you like that. In my case, that's what makes me, like, I was worried during my examination, because it's like, it's not the same question. It's more on situational practice, problem solving, what if Anna has a back injury or has a this problem, what you should do, something like that. She has a tight muscle in this part, which situation or what you should do, or which um, what type of exercise you should give, something, most of like that. So I was like worried, you know, if I answer it right or wrong. But yeah, I passed, and to be honest, it was really, when I was having a test, I was so it's cold inside, but I'm sweating. It's like, it's gross, but I was sweating in my armpit. It's like, oh my god, this is so gross. It was like, it's a cold sweat, you know. But yeah, anyway, number 2, is it difficult or not? If you don't study, it is difficult, because I don't have a medical background. That's what makes me worry. I'm a graduate of physical education, health and music, and for a long time I've been a group instructor, and also I'm an AFA certified group instructor. And of course, it's different really when a group and a personal training, because personal training is more on technicality, it's more deeper, you know, especially the terms. That would make me worry, because I'm like, ooh. But as I read all those chapters, chapter to chapter, it just takes patience, because you know, sometimes it just won't register in your head when you're so busy, especially if I'm also working as a group instructor and a personal trainer in a certain local, a certain university, and by the time I get home I'm tired. But yeah, it was, that experience is really tiring emotionally, you know, mentally as well. But as long as you study, it's okay. And of course, when you study, you have to, you know, concentrate, or just, if you don't understand it, just keep, you know, reading and just review it again. Just read every chapter. That's all I advise. Read pages to pages. Don't try to skip because you're so confident, like, oh, I know that, because you'll never know, you know. Okay, how the setup going to the examination room? Of course, when you come there, that the requirement is in your what do you call this, instruction, that bring a valid ID. I brought my driver's license, and also a CPR, a valid CPR card. I'm from I got it from my American Heart Association, and also there's another one, Red Cross. So you just bring 2, and that's it. I also brought my PSI number, but they have a copy of that already, so you don't have to worry about it. But just in case, I just wrote it down. But sometimes they gave you different number when you get there. Like mine, I have a different code number, and when I got there, they gave me different. So by the time I got there, she asked me what examination I'm gonna do. So I said NASM, and then she made me wait, and then asked my card and my ID, and then she put it in the pouch. It's a red pouch, and there is a lock on it, that to be sure that, you know, and also whatever the gadget, the Apple Watch, the phone, anything you have, as possible, don't bring phone. But if you don't have a choice, if you don't have someone with you, go in there and just bring your phone. And besides, there's a pouch, and she will lock the pouch. She will let you bring the pouch, but it's locked. Okay, so you take an exam there, you face the computer, and then, as far as you remember, there's a practice way of how to manipulate the computer, which is to exit, where to press the button for return to the examination, or number 1 question, number 2 question, if you want to repeat it, and review. It's just easy way. Anyway, got there and took an exam, and I passed. When I'm done, I got out. I gave her the pouch. She opened it and gave me my stubs, and then she said, "Congratulations, you passed." So eventually, there's a monitor that she can check if you pass or not. they won't show you, they will not show you how much score you have. She will just give you a form, a temporary, that saying that you pass. So this is it, like that. And so I was like, oh, I'm happy, okay. I was like flying in a cloud. I was like, I feel like I'm in a cloud. But so anyway, now there's 6 domains in the examination. So here's the 6 domains. So here's the 6 domains. Is number 1, basic and applied sciences. Second domain is assessment. Both are 15%. Number 3 is exercise technique and training instruction. That's 20%. Next is program design, 20%. Fifth domain is consideration in nutrition. That's 12%. Next is client relation and behavioral coaching. And the last is professional development, practice, and responsibilities. So now the main focus that I concentrated and really memorized, because I'm really not good in memorization. So it's like you need to know and really to understand the underactive and overactive muscle. You just try to do some technique on how to memorize certain stuffs. Like for me, one of the underactive muscle in excessive forward lean, underactive muscle is this anterior tibialis, gluteus maximus, and erector spinae. So I made it AGE, like AGE, so AGE. So it's just a matter of how you do it. The technique on how to memorize, right? Okay. So keep in mind, if you know those underactive and overactive muscle, it will be much easier for you to answer the questions, especially they have situational questions. That's what I've said a while ago. So it will be much better. Okay. Anyway, kinetic chain checkpoints. You need to know that. Location terminology, like superior, inferior, proximal, distal, anterior, posterior, medial, something like that. You just need to know that. Planes of motion, okay, axis and joint motion, muscle action, eccentric, concentric, isometric. You need to know that. Motor behavior, motor learning, balance training, and the progression, like from standing in the floor, go for the balance beam, half foam roll, foam pad, and then eventually bosu ball. So you just, because some people take that for granted and they say, it's okay, I can figure that out. But when you get there in a certain exam, and sometimes they will like, okay, before the half foam roll, which regress you should do. Of course, the balance beam. So you need to do that. You need to know the arrangement. Okay, and then also, it's just only few questions for business questions and nutrition, but still you need, again, that's what I've said, you need to study chapter to chapter, because you'll never know, really. You never know, maybe they will ask you too much stuff in the business thing. So just relax, don't panic, because I understand what you're going through right now, and I experienced that, and it's really nerve-wracking. But just, again, read chapter to chapter. If you can't understand and if you think you're out of time, like me, I didn't study from day one. I was just like, okay, relax. And then when it's almost like 2 months to go, that's the 2 months left, because you have 6 months. that's the time that I panic, and it just stressed me out, and I almost really gave up. But you know, if I were you, also print some study materials, not just online. You know, if you have your book, yeah, but book is so thick, you need to, you know, keep on look for it. Just print something, like for example the overactive, underactive muscle, print those, so that wherever you go, you know, just hold the paper and you lay down, and or you sit down and just read. No, it's like that. But another technique for the exam is to download this NASM CPT Pocket Prep. This is the sample of the application. Yep, you can see the average score, and also you have option to add more questions, follow in Twitter, to add more 10 questions, follow in Facebook, mention in Facebook, like on Facebook. Total of you will get 100 plus questions, or 600, 800, depends if you want to pay more. It's around, I paid $30 for this, but it's worth it because it gives more challenging and gives you more idea. Now this is, you can add also the date of your exam. Yep, to monitor you. And then also there's some question of the day. So that's example of question of the day. Like every day they will give you one question, like a main question that will help you more. So for example, I answered that and I choose the 85 to 100%, for strength 30 to 45%. So yep, if that's correct, they will give you the correct answer. It shows check, and also they will give you explanation and the chapter where you will find that answer. See, that's the explanation there. And that's that's power training, phase 5, page 14. Chapter 14 rather. Yep. So this is also, you will get every day or every time you want to, or you're in the mood to exam or practice, there's a 10 question. It's unlimited. If you pay $30+, you will get 600 to 800 questions. Just guys, good luck. And when I passed, it took 3 days or 5 days, let's just say a week, before I got the certification. But you can, after 3 days in passing the exam, you can access through your account in NASM your certification, just, you know, temporary, but and then they will send you still the actual certification that you can put in a plaque. So good luck guys, and just pray and just calm yourself down and don't give up, because keep in mind, even if you postpone and even if you fail, you're still gonna pay $190. So just take an exam. Just if you fail, then so what? There's still more time, and it's not the end of the world. And just exam again. You know, I've been there. I feel you. So good luck guys, and hope you have had an idea regarding with the examination. And if you have a question, don't hesitate to message. Thank you.